ESPN dropped a college basketball preseason transfer impact ranking for women's college basketball. And we're going to talk about that ranking that they got going on right now. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball, where we talk facts over feelings. We are powered by Come On Now, the podcast. I'm your host, Rudy Rodriguez Showmont. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts about the rankings. Just to go over the rankings off the rip, just to talk about them. ESPN has them ranked as follows, and I'm going to pull the screen up right here so you can see it as we go through it because I'm going to talk about every one of these players because they all deserve to be spoken about. That's absolutely for sure. Let's bring this up. Here you go. So as you can see, there were over 1,300 transfers. That's crazy just to think about. Over 1,300 transfers. College women's basketball season begins in just a couple of weeks. And, you know, there's a lot of transfers that you need to remember transferred and the impact that they are going to have on their teams. I mean, off the rip, you go look at the the list. Ta'Niya Latson is ranked number 1, Olivia Miles 2, Sarah Williams 3, Gianna Nipkins 4, Yarden Garzon 5, Cody McMahon 6, MiLaysia Fulwiley 7, Janiyah Barker's 8, Tony Morgan 9, Talia Scott 10, Laura Ziegler 11, Cara Dunn 12. This is a longer list than I thought. I thought it'd be like top 10. Aluchi Okananwa 13, Diney Carnegie 14, Medina Ocott 15, Rashaya Kyle 16, Jada Williams 17, Kilmy Miller 18, McMiller 18, Marta Suarez 19, Ayana Moore 20. Like, how long is this damn list? Samaya Smith 21, Latasha Lattimore 22, London Jones 23, Kate Koval 24, and Avery Howell 25. That's your list. Then in the others considered, Bria Cunningham, Yating Deng, Aaliyah Guyton, Nyla Harris, Amaya Joyner, Tamia Scott, Clara Silva, Haley Timmer, and Kiera Wheeler. So we're going to focus on this list, a more condensed version of this list, and look more at the top 10 to 15 players and just give some comments about, their impact. Starting off with Ta'Niya Latson, I think obviously she is by far the most impactful of the transfers. I mean, she was, leading the country in scoring last year at 25.2 points per game, averaged 4.6 assists and 2.2 steals. But I got to say, I do have questions about her decision to go to South Carolina. Dawn Staley has seemed to be, even though she was a point guard in college, kind of a guard killer. Haven't seen her develop guards in her systems. Haven't seen guards be a focal point of her systems. I mean, whether you look at Asia Wilson, Aaliyah Boston, Camila Cardoso, she is typically big reliant. And I even think that this year it's going to be a heavy dose of Joyce Edwards, who's going to be a sophomore and was averaged over 12 and a half points per game last year coming off of the bench. She is going to be, I think, a major focal point of this roster, this lineup. Do I think Latson will not have a major impact? Yeah, I do. I do think she'll have a major impact, but I do question how much of an impact she's going to have in terms of scoring. Will she average 25 a game? Will she be remotely close to averaging 25 a game? Because, like I said, I've seen Dawn Staley kind of suffocate guards. Will Latson have the ball in her hands, or will the ball be in the hands of Raven Johnson? They played together in high school, so they know each other. But there's one that's truly elevated her game well beyond the other. Raven Johnson may have been that girl coming out of high school, but Ta'Niya Latson is that girl now. She has clearly gone way past Raven Johnson. So, not to mention the South Carolina just lost Chloe Kitts. Ashton Watkins took the year off. They're going to need Latson to score a whole lot. But again, Dawn Staley, will she let it happen? That's the question I do have. But she is by far the most impactful player as a transfer. You got Olivia Miles at number 2. I don't know that I'd agree with this one. Olivia Miles, to me, she's a good player. She's not a great player. I think she's hoping to have that same type of Haley Van Lith situation at TCU, given the ball to be the woman. I mean, to be the man, but to be the woman. I definitely believe there was a jealousy situation with her and Hannah Hidalgo, maybe some personal issues about sexuality and shit like that. I am not sure on that accord. I mean, you did see the clearly they were arguing at Notre Dame in that hallway, earlier. What was it? Late in the spring, that they were going at each other. It wasn't a pleasant conversation. So I don't know that she is going to have the impact on TCU that maybe and I don't know what else TCU has on their roster, because one thing that Haley Van Lith did have was Sedona Prince. So let's see what happens. But again, I don't think Olivia Miles is going to be as impactful as people think. Could be wrong. I think Sarah Williams going to UConn is a much bigger impact situation because it really, really defines um, UConn's front line. I mean, with Sarah Strong and Jana Al Alfi, you add Sarah Williams in there, and she's going to be a horse. I thought she was 6'4". I don't know that she's 6'2". I thought she was 6'4", but I'm pretty sure she's 6'4". Maybe I'm crazy, but that is and then you obviously have to include the guards, but that front line for UConn's going to be serious business. Averaging over 19 points and almost 10 rebounds a game last year, and she obviously is here to win a national championship at UConn. Yana Nepkins goes over to UCLA. She should improve their shooting. That was a big issue that they did have last year. They did not shoot the ball well. UCLA is a slow team. They don't push tempo. They're kind of dull. They're kind of boring, but hella effective until they run into a team that can push tempo and run the ball, run the floor. And that's what happened when they met up with UConn last year. They got run off the floor because they don't have the shooting. Their guard play is average at best. You know, Kiki Rice, she's just an okay guard. I don't find her to be anything crazy good, with that team. So, I don't find her to be all that. And so that's one thing. She is coming. She will be back. It is going to be her senior year, and she will be back. She averaged over about 13 points a game, but you know, perimeter shooting wise, she's just an okay shooter. They don't have much of anything in terms of the perimeter. So Gianna Nipkins should be a 3-point threat for them, shooting 43% for her career from three, average over 19 points per game last season. Could she be the difference maker for UCLA? Look, I'm going to be a fourth round. I got UConn winning the national championship again. So everything else is up, and everything else, it all depends on injuries. I think UConn's going to win. I think UConn's going to go undefeated and win a national championship. That's just my opinion. But could Neepkins be that type of player that can make that difference against UConn? I don't know, because I don't know that she makes them any faster. She might help them shoot the ball, but they're a heavy half court offense. I mean, you're talking about Lauren Betts down low. Now her sister's there, Sienna Betts. I don't know. I really don't know much about Sienna Betts other than I've never seen her play. She's in high school. Like, I'm not watching high school girls basketball. I'm just being honest. So we'll see how impactful she is as a freshman. I think her impact will be just as big, if not bigger, than Neepkin's impact, because that's a big girl too. She's 6'4". You pair her next to her sister who's 6'7". Look, UCLA's big as hell. Just they're slow, and that's the thing. Yarden Garzone transferred over from Indiana, 40 almost 43% 3-point shooter. I'm sure she'll be helpful to Brenda Freeze. Uh, don't really know much on Maryland's situation this season, but Garzone is a solid shooting guard, small forward. I mean, she's a big shooting guard at 6'3". That's her as a guard. She's a big one. She's 6'3". So she should definitely be helpful to Maryland. Cody McMahon, I'm not a big fan of Cody McMahon. I'm gonna be real. I think she's a lot of crybaby stuff with her. I don't think that she's gonna have the big impact that people might believe that she's gonna have at Ole Miss. Just don't see it. Kind of a whiner from what I've seen. That don't like her attitude. Averaged 16 and a half a game last year at Ohio State. 3 years at Ohio State, and you're going to transfer your senior year, your first team All Big Ten, back-to-back seasons, and you're going to transfer. I find that weak, bro. I mean, I'm going to be real. I find it weak. It wasn't like Ohio State wasn't good. They were 26-7 last year. Damn, I hope I just said 6-7. God, no, that's what those kids say now. They were 26-7, man. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? It didn't make a lot of sense to me for her to transfer, but she did. I think that's a weak move. I'll be real. That's a weak ass move. And then they got upset, obviously, in the second round of the tournament by Tennessee. Yeah, not a big fan of that decision, for her to transfer. And so therefore I don't respect it much. MiLaysia Fulwiley going to LSU. That is a huge question right there. How good will MiLaysia Fulwiley be? She was clearly suffocated by Dawn Staley coming off of the bench, not utilizing her skills, not utilizing her talent. We don't know what she's got. We don't know what she's got, and we're going to get an idea of it. I'm sure we're going to see it pretty quickly. I mean, look, this LSU team is guard heavy, just like it was last year. It's guard heavy. This team has no size. This team has no size. They're going to have to play, in my opinion, fast break, track meet basketball. Fulwiley is a ridiculous athlete. Flau'jae Johnson, a ridiculous athlete. Michaela Williams is a good athlete. I mean, this is a loaded team at guard. Loaded. But they got nothing down low. I know number 24 was Kate Koval. What did she really do last year at Notre Dame? I'm just being honest. Like, people don't like honesty. It's the best policy. She averaged 5 points and 5 rebounds last year at Notre Dame. I mean, she came off the bench largely. She was okay. We don't know what she's going to give then. Now, will MiLaysia Fulwiley finally be given the opportunity to show what she's got? That's the question. Will Kim Mulkey take the handcuffs off of Fulwiley and we finally see who MiLaysia Fulwiley is? I'm going to tell you right now, of all the players on this list, that is the player more than anybody that I want to see. Is MiLaysia Fulwiley really that girl, or was Dawn Staley right about her? All these other players here. Is MiLaysia Fulwiley really that girl, or was Dawn Staley right about her? And we'll find out. We will find out. Looking forward to when they play on February 14th against South Carolina. Think that's going to be pretty damn cool. But with this backcourt, bro, this backcourt that they got at LSU, man, they're going to be scoring a lot of points. And they're going to be playing, I presume they're going to be playing breakneck. So that one is really, really interesting to me. Janiah Barker at number 8. Not impressed. She did nothing at UCLA last year. Absolutely nothing. Transfer to Texas A&M. Transfers again. Transfer. Whatever. Not a fan. Don't like it. Didn't find her to be that great at UCLA. Some people say she's amazing. I mean, she was the number 1 scorer at Texas A&M. She was an awful role player at UCLA. There are players that don't know how to adjust when asked to play a role. And she clearly doesn't know how to play a role. And if she isn't the number 1 option, can she function? Don't know that if she'll be the number 1 option for Tennessee this year. Don't know. We don't know. Maybe she will, maybe she won't. But will she pout and whine if she's not and not show up? We'll see. Toni Morgan, I'm going to be real. I don't know anything about this girl. She played at Georgia Tech. She was a solid player at Georgia Tech. I don't know a whole lot about her. I'm going to be real. So I'm going to skip right past that. Same with Talia Scott. She did average 21 points. She did average 21 points per game last year, but again, don't know a whole lot about her. Let's move down to Medina Okot. Medina Okot at South Carolina. That move was big for Dawn Staley because without her, they would have very little size this year. Very little size. And Dawn Staley lives by her size. Okot's was strong at Mississippi State. I think was the best move they can make to try to match up with South Carolina. I don't think it's enough. I mean, to match up with UConn. I don't think it's enough, but we'll see what happens. She's gonna have to be that physical presence down low for South Carolina. Maybe she becomes that. I mean, there is a culture at South Carolina of playing hard, strong defense, physical, the whole nine, and she fits in that mold. So I would love to see what happens with her this year. And maybe we're surprised. Maybe South Carolina shows me something I don't expect. Maybe they do. Rashad Kyle goes to Miami. I don't know what Miami's got. I'm a Hurricane. I don't know what Miami's got. She was solid at Florida. Don't know what Miami's got really though. So I'm gonna move past that one. I know Miami pretty much has a completely brand new team again. That's what the transfer portal's done. It's to the point where you don't even know who's on the team. I mean, that's Miami. Miami has I think one player returning from last year's roster. McMillan, Keely McMillan going to Penn State. This could be a disaster. She was a head case at Rutgers, very, very selfish basketball player from what it seems, and going to a really bad team at Penn State. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Well, yeah, Kyomi McMillan. I mean, she had issues over at Rutgers, and the second this team doesn't, you know, play well, will she have another temper tantrum? That's a big question right there. Looking at the rest of this list, I think another one right here that people might want to overhype is London Jones to USC. Doesn't mean a lot to me. I thought she was a massive problem for UCLA. She was completely undersized. She'll get picked on by anyone bigger. She doesn't shoot the ball well enough to be that short playing Division One basketball. Quite frankly, I'm shocked that she's a Division One basketball player. Personally, I yeah, to go from one odd coaching situation where I think UCLA coaching is not that great to I think really bad coaching at USC is crazy. I miss Latasha Lattimore. She played at Miami, then went to Tennessee. I'm actually surprised that she transferred again, but maybe she does help Ole Miss. And then finally, yeah, you got Kate Koval. She's the only big. She's the only big for LSU. So she's definitely going to get a lot of playing time, and we're going to find out if she is a player that can be counted on. But this isn't. They're going to be playing at breakneck speed at LSU, so can she keep up? It will be a big question. But that's pretty much it. I am really interested in seeing what MiLaysia Fulwiley looks like at LSU, and obviously what Ta'Niya Latson looks like at South Carolina. So y'all let me know what y'all thoughts are about this list. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell. This is Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Come on now.